Hello quilty friends, this is Dory Haruska with Forever Quilting, and I am taking a snow day to work on this adorable rosebud quilt that I created out of Tim Holtz new palette fabric. Now this is a combination of the pink palette and the red palette. The quilt measures about 31 inches square, but the original quilt, called French Roses by Heather French, actually measures around 57 inches. I took that pattern and just reduced the applique by 50% to make my rosebuds. Now these rosebuds are supposed to be appliqued on before you piece the quilt together. But because I'm a quilter, I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to actually take these rosebuds and quilt them or applique them down while I'm doing the quilting. So as you can see, they're not pieced down. They don't even have any interfacing or anything to applique them down. They're just cut out, very wonky like. So I've got my first row laid out here, but I'm actually going to set it to the side. And I'm going to go ahead and quilt the background area behind all the flowers. By not putting this applique down yet, this will make doing the background quilting so much faster and simpler. So I'm going to start off by doing just a little stitch in the ditch. I've already stitched in the ditch around the first border. I'm going to stitch in the ditch around the second border, and then come in and just do some swirls in the background here. We're doing a matching thread. This is a Mocha Glide thread, so it'll blend in nicely, but sometimes kind of pop to where you can see the quilting. So I'll let you guys just follow along as I quilt out all these swirls, and then I'm going to come back and layer by layer put each of these petals down and applique them down to my quilt top. I hope you guys enjoy following along. To make this style of swirl, you're making a curl in the center, and then you're echoing back around it. You want to make sure that none of the lines touch, that they are as equally spaced as possible. You can use your hopping foot as a guide to know how far to make the spacing. So that the curls don't all look like they're going in the same direction, or that they're all going in a row. Be mindful to change the direction of the curl, echoing the curl to get to a new area, and then have the curl go a different direction. In order to fit the swirls into small areas, your swirls are going to be different sizes. So do this on purpose. Every once in a while make a larger swirl and then make a smaller swirl. I finished all of the border and the ditch work, and all of the background area has been filled in with swirls. And I will tell you that background area was so much easier to quilt because we didn't have the applique in place. So now I've got the first couple rows lined out. I've just got the pieces laid down there, and I'm going to be stitching them one at a time. So I'm going to take the first couple layers off, and we're going to stitch one layer at a time. And I'm really going to try not to overthink the placement of the pieces because they're all different shapes, and it's going to have like a little raggedy look to it because we're going to wash this, and the edges are going to unravel and kind of have a little bit of a chenille look to it. So I'm simply going to go around each one of these flower pieces around 1/4 of an inch from the edge. And then I'm going to jump into the next layer and stitch that. So all of the flower pieces will all be stitched down with one start and one stop. And there's the first flower. So a little challenging on the first time around, but you kind of get the hang of it after a while. Now we're going to jump over and do the next flower. You notice when I was coming back around, after stitching around one of the petals or one of the layers here, it started to bunch up a little bit. So just use your fingers to kind of flatten it out. And don't be too concerned if it does kind of make a little pleat in it. Just going to add a little bit of character to it. If you're really concerned about the applique pieces moving while you quilt them, you could use some glue to attach the pieces temporarily. Okay, now all those pieces are appliqued down. I don't know about you guys, but I think that went so fast, so much faster than having to stitch around them on my domestic machine. Just doing it all at the same time on the Longarm was so quick. I definitely had more fun doing a project like this than I do doing those show quilts that I'm usually having to do. This is just so much more fun, satisfying, and definitely quicker. So I can't wait to bind this and wash it so we can see how all of the edges kind of curl up. Of course, I've got all of these threads to clip. That won't take any time at all. And I just, at some point, it's like I figured out that, you know, I don't have to stop and start every time. I can just drag those threads, and that made the quilting go faster also. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe give you some ideas, some inspiration on how you can use this type of applique technique on your Longarm to create some kind of quilt in your future. We'll see you next time.